Hello, my name is Johnny. Welcome to more awesome collectibles, pop culture collectibles. Today we're going to look at a who's who in television for the 1966 to 67 series years. They had lots of good ones come out, like Star Trek and the Monkees. We're going to look at it all through here in this magazine by Dell. They made lots of comics and they made magazines too. There's a picture of the back. Who's who? So this was like the fall preview TV guide, only much more in depth. Front, it's going to do the new shows. Let's look quickly at the back page. Where is it here? So they got the schedule. So look at all the new and continuing shows. Oh, I like Voyage to the Bottom of the Sea. I've done videos on that. Collectibles for that. Andy Griffith Show, great show. I Dream of Jeannie, The Monkees, Gilligan's Island, Girls from U.N.C.L.E., Daktari, Combat, I Spy, Beverly Hillbillies, Daniel Boone, Batman, F Troop, My Three Sons, Star Trek, Dean Martin, Mission Impossible, Flipper, Time Tunnel, Green Hornet, Hogan's Heroes, Wild Wild West. So many memorable shows. Let's take a look here. Talk about their specials. There's lots of specials back then. And you got to remember there were only 3 networks back then. So they had pretty much a monopoly on what people were going to be watching. Get to some of the new shows here. Tarzan. And see, they give a little call out to each of the actors that were going to be in there. Starting new on NBC. Girl from U.N.C.L.E., Stephanie Powers. Here's Star Trek. Look at it. Didn't get that big of a picture. William Shatner. Leonard Nimoy. See how they have some basic information about them. William Shatner, when I'm still doing this in 2022. Still with us. Very vibrant. Interesting man. Long career. I always like seeing guest appearances of him on different shows before and after Star Trek. There's the Monkees. Sadly, only Mickey is still around now. Just lost Mike not too long ago. Peter and Davy. It was a fun show. They brought the reruns of that back to MTV in the 80s, and they had like a revival and everything from that. That Girl, that was a successful show, 5 seasons. Marlo Thomas. And for every hit show and well-remembered show, there's lots of shows that I'm skipping talking about that came and went. Green Hornet wasn't very successful, only 1 season, but well remembered. And of course, Bruce Lee was in there. There's some information about him. And look at that way back there, 2-year-old son, Brandon. Such a shame. There's Burt Reynolds on a show before he became a movie star in the 70s, The Hawk. Rat Patrol with Christopher George. That's a fun show. Time Tunnel. That's an Irwin Allen show, like Lost in Space, Voyage, and later Land of the Giants. Only lasted 1 season. Different specials. New on CBS. Mission Impossible. When that started, it had Stephen Hill on it instead of Peter Graves. Family Affair, that was successful. It went for 5 seasons. Very kind of gentle type humor show, family show. There's Peter Lewis, he played Willie. And Greg Morris played Barney. That's a good show. I have all those on DVDs. Way before there was the Tom Cruise movies that most people today know, there was the very successful and popular Mission Impossible show. To be continued. So this was the shows that were already airing. Look at the big Batman was the big show at the time. So they got a nice big layout about it. There's Roddy McDowall. He appeared as the Bookworm. Only in 1 episode, though. It was fun. Frank Gorshin, he won an Emmy for portraying the Riddler. Peyton Place was a primetime soap. Was on a couple times a week. Launching pad for several actors, including Ryan O'Neal, that had a big movie career in the 70s. Lots of musical variety shows on at that time. Jackie Gleason still had all his shows. I mainly remember him from reruns of The Honeymooners, but he had a successful variety show for many, many years. Dean Martin, that was a good show. That ran from 65 all the way to 74, and then he continued on with his specials and his roasts, celebrity roasts. My Three Sons, Andy Griffith, Bewitched, Gilligan's Island, Beverly Hillbillies. That was the #1 show for the first 2 years that was on. I Dream of Jeannie, Green Acres, Hogan's Heroes. Out of everybody, I think Robert Clary's still around. And as I'm doing this in 2022, I believe Larry Storch is still alive in his late 90s. My goodness. There's Gomer Pyle. That was a spin-off of the Andy Griffith Show. Voyage to the Bottom of the Sea. Nice big pager there. Combat, I've done videos on that. It's a good drama show with lots of people appeared on that, including movie stars like Lee Marvin and Charles Bronson and James Coburn. A good guys show. I Spy. Man from U.N.C.L.E. Get Smart. It's part of the spy craze. Fugitive was still on. Westerns. Gunsmoke was right in the middle of its 20-year run. Bonanza. So many good shows. So many well-remembered shows. Wild Wild West. I recently saw Laredo. That was good. That had William Smith or Bill Smith. He was in many movies and shows. Usually played a tough guy. Dark Tari. Daniel Boone. There's Lost in Space. Dr. Smith. Oh, the pain, the pain. There's Bill Mumy. I met him several times at the comic convention. They had primetime game shows, news. What else is in here? Daytime. There's Dark Shadows was on in the daytime. And they're doing the movies. This was before the movie of the week and the stuff that really started in the late 60s and early 70s, and that's rest of it is referencing some of the movies that we're going to be on for the first time, and then some of the syndicated things, Mike Douglas in the daytime and so forth, Merv Griffin, and of course Johnny Carson was the reigning king of late night TV. Let's look at a cool magazine and for the TV shows of 1966-67. Thank you for watching, my friends.